Hi and welcome everyone. I'm Christine Fisher, your host of this edition of Cape Ann Art Waves, where every week we have the unique opportunity to interview talented artists and makers. This program is coming to you by way of 1623 Studios located in Gloucester, Massachusetts. This week, I have the pleasure to interview contemporary artist Donna Castleton, whose talent is diverse, ranging from being an award-winning experimental artist to clothing designer to advising on interior decor. Donna is always switching it up, seeking out new techniques for her artistic expression, whether it be experimenting with new materials, incorporating unusual found objects, or innovating with wearable art. Donna is a member of the National Association of Women Artists, the 4 Point Art Community in Boston, the Experimental Group, which is part of Rockport Art Association and Museum in Rockport, along with several North Shore art associations, and is represented by Gallery on Jarvis in Sandwich, Massachusetts. And she just had an article that was published in USA Today. So, hey, welcome, Donna. It's great to see you. Great to have you.
Thank you, Christine. Yeah, so glad you did this for me.
Let's dive right into it. I always like to set the stage and hear from our artists about their early beginnings.
Okay, well, I came to art kind of in a not your traditional sense.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school for economics and never thought I would be here. But I'm thinking back to one of my most favorite classes I took at college, and it was an animation through Ken Brown, who's a great photographer and animator.
Mm-hmm.
After school, I had a career in advertising.
Mm-hmm.
And I raised my family, and while I was home with the kids, I was always jumping at the chance to take a class in design or art or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
When my kids got older, I started a home staging business, which I loved. It was so much fun. I figured I'm always doing this anyway, moving furniture around for friends and family and myself, always changing things up. I thought I would start a business, and I did that for about 7 years. And then we moved here to Gloucester, and I realized it was time for a change. I took advantage of all the art offerings there were on Cape Ann.
Mm-hmm.
I took quite a few classes through the Northeast Art Workshop with Kat Masella.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much fun there, and helped her out a bit with her with the company.
Yeah.
She had artists from all over the country who came there to teach.
Wow.
And I also was fortunate to take some classes with Nella Lush.
Mm-hmm.
I happened upon her exhibition at the Rockport Art Association, and I just fell in love with her work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I contacted her and to see if maybe she taught, and she did. She was booked up, but she kept my name, and a year later she had an opening. So I started working with her, and things just progressed from there.
Well, you know, I'm fond of saying that all roads lead to Nella. She's just influenced so many people, and Kat too. You know, Kat is very well respected. Both of them are terrific artists. So let's keep going and talk about how you would describe your work, because you are always innovating. It's one of the things I so admire about you. You're always innovating. So talk to us a bit about how you would describe your work, and also a little bit about your process.
Well, I consider myself an experimental artist as well as a contemporary artist,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense that I'm always changing things up. I'll work from total abstract, to all the way to maybe more contemporary landscapes, or actually everything. And I work with all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
I love oil paint. I love acrylic. I even use house paint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just anything goes with me.
We talked earlier about how you go through phases of working with certain materials or practicing certain techniques. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure, sure. For a while, I loved using a compressor to blow paint across my the canvas. I would use acrylic for this and wet it down and blow the paint around and turn the canvas all around to get just what I wanted.
Mhm.
Um, that was fun, but then I changed it up. I still go back to that now and then, but I've been doing other things as well. I love to work with cold wax and
Mhm.
oil, and I mix various things with it. Many times marble dust, sometimes sand. Sometimes I throw some mica in there. I have a whole pile of mica that I got at a mine up in New Hampshire a while back.
Wow.
Um, I also like, I mentioned house paint. I like to, what I call my drip series. And I'll work on the floor for that. And I love the viscosity of house paint. It's just the perfect texture. I also use golden liquid for this as well. And then I just, either use um, an old brush or a stick or just straight out of the bottle or can, and I get different techniques from that as well.
Mhm. Donna, I think you need to do some demos for us.
I'd
I think that's where you got to go next. Let's talk about your piece, SOS. If you could just talk to it and describe the medium and your approach and anything in particular that inspired you in making this piece.
Okay, well, this piece happens to have a lot of different techniques that I've used. I started out with acrylic,
Mhm.
which is oftentimes the way I begin my work. Um, but this has some stamping in it. It has some um, oil pastel. It has drips. And then I finished it up with adding some pieces of rusted metal that I found, on the street.
Mhm.
And when I was, I guess halfway through it, or maybe near the end, it was looking to me like the ocean, and
Mhm.
then it just needed those pieces of metal, and that's why I called it SOS, Save Our Seas. And what was funny about this is when I was finally finished with the painting, it happened to be Earth Day. So it
Love
just,
it.
I don't know if I was working intentionally in my subconscious thinking about our Earth,
Yeah.
or I don't know. Funny things like that seem to happen with me.
Yeah, yeah, very, very much so. I'd love to just stay on that topic for a minute because, the art of creating, sometimes it flows, sometimes it doesn't. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. You're definitely right about that with me. Um,
Mhm.
some days I wake up and I just have an idea
Mhm.
that came to me in my semi-conscious state, and
Mhm.
I run up to my studio and I start working like a crazy woman. Um, and then other times I'll have the day set aside to paint with no disruptions, and nothing happens. I just can't work. So I don't know why it's like
Mhm.
that, but sometimes you know a lot of things happen and sometimes they don't.
Well, I think it's about giving ourselves permission, right? And kind of giving into our creative process and
Mhm.
just accepting it,
Yeah.
accepting. Let's move on and talk about your wearable art because you've been so, I think, innovative in terms of pursuing fashion and wearable art, and you've done very well commercializing it. Talk about your relationship with La Galeriste.
Oh, okay.
And then we want to talk to a piece, let's see, I believe your title is Swirl of Confusion.
Yes, yes, that's a pretty dress.
Mhm.
So they contacted me. I guess it's been about a year now,
Mhm.
asking if I would like to use some of my paintings to be printed on fabric and made into clothing and home decor items. And
Mhm.
I thought, sure, sounded like fun to me since I love fashion.
Yeah.
Um, and I had been in touch with them about a year before that. I was in a my wearable art was in a fashion show through Newburyport Art Association,
Mhm.
and also it was through a small boutique in Newburyport. oh, I can't think of the name right now.
That's okay. No worries.
I knew that I loved the quality of the clothing.
Mhm.
So, you know, I wasn't hesitate to say I wasn't hesitant to say yes.
I happen to love this dress. I would love to order this dress myself.
It's a cute one. It's really pretty.
It's really stunning. Let's talk a little bit about your inspirations. I'm very curious to have this conversation because your work is so out of the box and you're always reinventing yourself. So, where do some of these ideas come from?
I would say various places. The environment is huge.
Yep.
Most of my, a lot, not most, but a lot of my work has a coastal theme to it. And living here on Cape Ann, um, you just can't help that. It's around you everywhere.
Right, right.
Uh, and I'm not sure. Like there was one painting I finished after a trip to New York City, and
Mhm.
it was all gray tones. And in hindsight, I'm looking at it and realized it was all the huge buildings in the city.
Mhm. You just kind of got into your fiber.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk a minute about your piece, Mantra, etc.
Okay, okay. Um, this one actually it's Manta.
Oh,
It's
Manta, Manta.
that's
Sorry, Manta mantra.
And this is another piece of mine that's sea related. And it's funny. I had painted something part of this piece and wasn't happy with it, and it was in my studio for a while. I don't know, maybe even a couple of months, and then I took a look at it one day and realized it needed something, and I started uh, um, applying this is all latex, applying some paint, no, I'm sorry, it's acrylic,
Mhm.
uh, paint to it, and I saw a manta ray, and then I thought, oh, I see some other sea creatures in here, and soon enough there were jellyfish and eels and starfish, and
Wow.
that's yeah, so it just kind of came.
Talk about an organic process and letting yourself just flow with it, right?
That's yeah.
Let's talk about how you're using this time because you are a very busy gal. You're involved in several exhibitions. Talk to us about how you're moving forward.
I do have quite a few shows coming up and going on at the moment.
Mhm.
I have a couple of pieces at the Atlantic Wharf Gallery in the Seaport area of Boston.
Mhm.
And let me see, I have it written down so I don't forget. Um, that's called New Futures. And then I also have, this is a fundraiser for Beverly Main Streets. They asked 30 artists to paint large bass, like 3 foot long bass.
Wow.
And that goes on for another week. It's a silent auction. People
Yep.
can bid on those.
Mhm.
Um, I have in October a couple of paintings going down to the Vendu Art Hotel in Charleston.
Mhm. That's so exciting.
Yeah, I love that city. And then you know about this one we have. It's called Awry, Just Breathe. It's with Christine. It's with you and me together at the Jane Deering Gallery, and that opens September 25th.
Right.
Through,
Yeah. 2 weeks from today.
right.
So let's put up a rye number 5.
Okay.
That is going to be in our show. Talk to us about that piece, and this is a really good point to talk about kind of what you were reacting to when you were making it.
This is definitely a pandemic piece. I made quite a lot of work during the pandemic. I was lucky. A lot of my artist friends I know couldn't work. They were just
Right,
blocked during this
right.
time. But I happened to use the time, and it was a good way for me to escape all the terrible things on the news.
Mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
this piece is definitely it's a mixed media made with spray paint, house paint, copper tape on paper, and it's all applied to boards.
Wow.
And it's called a series of 7 paintings. because, and you'll notice all lines, well, on this one and as all of the paintings in the series, they're all off a little bit. None of the lines are straight. Just it was my feeling about how things just aren't right
Mm-hmm.
in the world during this.
Well, it's a wonderful collection, and I have been working away as well, and I would say it's been healing therapy for me during this time of COVID. I've been taking many walks on Cape Ann's beautiful beaches, as well as those of the North Shore. It's been very inspiring for me, and I've taken a lot of comfort and renewal from those experiences. And so my collection is really based on all of these beautiful places that I have been walking. They're all 12 pieces are named after each of these locations. The piece that I'm showing you right now is named after Cranes Beach. It's very rhythmic, just like the sea. It consists of monotype on acrylic. It's a collage piece. And I would say that all 12 pieces in my collection really play off of each other. They tell a story. They're kind of woven through imagery and woven through color. So I know, Donna, you join me in giving a big thank you to Jane Deering, who is sponsoring our exhibition. It's exciting to be doing a live show during this time, right?
It is. It's so unusual, but yes, it is.
The gallery is located at 19 Pleasant Street in Gloucester, next to the Cape Ann Museum. And as Donna said, our show opens on Friday, September 25th, 2 weeks from actually the time that we're recording. And we'll go until Monday, the 12th, October 12th, which is Columbus Day. Our hours are Friday through Sunday, 1 to 3 o'clock, and of course, by appointment. And when the show opens, our work will be up on Jane Deering's website, janedeeringgallery.com, along with pricing, and also on our respective websites. So, Donna, you're going to have the last word here. What is your URL?
Oh, it's easy. It's donnacastleton.com.
Great. And you are open for commission business too, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I don't know how you squeeze that in. You've got so much going on. I want to thank you, Donna. It's been really a treat. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Donna Castleton. I want to share with our viewers that this recording can be accessed on 1623 Studio social media platform, to include Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Channel 12. I'm Christine Fisher. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care. Be well.